carbon-based bipeds. I am Scott Rose, and you are watching Explosions and Stuff. Today, I'll be reviewing the 2010 film Wrong Side of Town, starring Rob Van Dam, Dave Bautista, Jerry Katz, and Lara Grice. But first, a word from our sponsors. An overview of the movie? Retired Navy SEAL Bobby Kalinowski goes out to a nightclub with his wife and neighbors. While out, the club owner's brother attempts to rape Kalinowski's wife, but he fights him off, accidentally killing him in the process. Little do they know, the owner of the nightclub is also the local crime boss, and he is determined to get revenge for his brother's death. The pros of this movie? Well, the dialogue in this movie was very lighthearted and fun, and that really helped to lighten the mood, because it's a very serious plot. It's a very serious thing, this movie. It's meant to be serious, and it could be dark and brooding, but the dialogue really helped lighten everything, made them be more believable, more relatable, and these characters were kind of smartasses because the dialogue was so lighthearted. Also, Jerry Katz played an amazing villain in this. He was a great villain. He did a great job just establishing himself as this bad guy, this drug lord that you didn't want to mess with. He was selling his cocaine or whatever, and just doing a great job at it, making a lot of money, and he did a fantastic job playing a character that you just didn't want to mess with, and you didn't want to get on his bad side. Like, the first scene of the movie is him with this guy tied to a chair. And he's like, this guy ratted me out. He told the cops where my drug deal was going down. How do I know this? Because the cop he went to was on my payroll. So he tied this guy to a chair, put cinder blocks to his wrists and ankles, and beat him up a good bit, and then threw him into like a river or a lake or some deep-ass body of water to drown. And this was the first time you saw this villain. He did a great job pulling it off. Also, the fight scenes in this movie were very well choreographed. You could tell by watching these fight scenes in this movie that a lot of love and care and passion went into the choreography of these fight scenes. They were amazingly choreographed. They were beautifully choreographed. The fights were vicious and just amazingly beautiful and believably choreographed. The cons of this movie? Well, first of all, you know how I said that the fight scenes were just amazingly choreographed? You know how I just said that? Well, they were amazingly choreographed, but they were horribly shot. They were filmed just terribly. Horrible camera angles. You could see the cuts. It was just bad. It was mind-blowingly bad. Why couldn't they just get somebody who has an inkling of an idea how to film a fight scene, how to film action, and get them to film those fight scenes? That would have been spectacular. That would have been good. The fight scenes were beautifully choreographed, but they were ruined by horrible filming. Seriously, that was just nonsense, and this is an action movie, so you need these action scenes to be good and to stand out and just be spectacular, especially with the cast you've got. But you need these fight scenes to be great, and they were, but they ruined them by filming them horribly. Also, the acting in this movie, well, it was stiff, but let's be honest, what did you expect when the lead actors are Rob Van Dam and Dave Bautista? I love these guys. They're very entertaining professional wrestlers. But they're not good actors. I'm sorry. They're just not. That's just being objective. But they did a good job with what they had, but it was still really stiff. My biggest complaint about this movie? It was slower than hell. I mean, you watch the trailer. You think this movie is Kalinowski accidentally kills bad guy's brother. Bad guy kidnaps Kalinowski's daughter. Kalinowski goes and gets bad guy and goes to get his daughter back. First of all, why the hell did they name him Kalinowski? I get it that it's a realistic name, but it's just fucking difficult to say. Seriously. Also, but that's not really important. That's more just kind of annoying me right now because I'm trying to say the name Kalinowski. Anyway, moving back to my original point, The movie, you watch the trailer, you think it's an edge of your seat, nail-biting action movie about this guy trying to get his daughter back who's been kidnapped. This movie is just under an hour and a half long. I think it's like an hour 28. The daughter gets kidnapped at the hour mark. Most of what happens in the first half of the movie doesn't need to be in there. It really doesn't. Like, you have this whole cat and mouse game with Kalinowski, his wife, and the neighbor couple playing this cat and mouse game in the city because they're trying to escape from the mob boss or whatever, trying to get them and kill them or whatever. That whole thing doesn't need to be in the movie. You don't need that cat and mouse game. The neighbors only need to exist for the sole purpose of getting Kalinowski and his wife into the nightclub. Beyond that, they don't need any other reason to exist. That was just nonsense, meaningless, worthless characters. Have the movie about this guy trying to get his daughter back. That would have been fantastic. It's tried and true. It works. It's a fantastic... Well, yes, it's an overused plot, but it always works as long as you have a competent writer and a competent director. Even with bad acting, it'll still work if the action's great. Seriously, this movie was just too damn slow. My overall thoughts on the movie? I saw the trailer to this, and it looked good. The acting looked mediocre, but it looked entertaining at least. Unfortunately, I have to give this movie one thumb down. I really wanted to like this movie, and it had so much potential. Unfortunately, the finished product just wasn't up to par. The biggest issue was the pacing, and that almost half the movie didn't need to be in the movie. It wasn't essential to the movie. I mean, unless you're a wrestling fan and you like Rob Van Dam or Batista, I can't think of any reason to watch Wrong Side of Town. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel for new action movie reviews posted every week and top 10 lists posted on the 10th of every month. Also, if you have any recommendations for things you would like me to review in the future, please feel free to leave them in the comments below and follow us on the Twitter sphere at explosions_TV. Thank you and have a nice day.